All right, so we're going to dive into the stretches right from the get-go. So we're definitely going to do a ton of mobility work today, a ton of stretching today, but there's also going to be some core straight ab focuses thrown in there. So just have that expectation coming up. So we're going to start with the right foot in front, toes up. So we're just going to go into a hamstring, like a runner's hamstring stretch to start off. So take that deep breath in, reach up to the ceiling, and then reach for that front toe. You want the right toes facing up towards the ceiling, the left foot facing forward, and what you're going to do here is sink into that stretch, and then you're going to rock your body forward. So the right toe hits the mat, the left knee comes forward, and then rock it back into the stretch. So you're kind of coming down into a really, really tight, low lunge, and then back into that stretch. Push the toes into the mat when you come into that low lunge. So what we're looking for a little bit there is a little bit of balance. You're going to start to feel that quad and the stretch to the hamstring and the glutes. Let's go 2 and 1. This time, when you come forward into that tight lunge, I want you to bring your knee all the way down to the mat. And so now we're in a half kneeling position. You're just going to adjust. You're going to sort of half kneel, nice and tall, tuck the tailbone, and you're going to do the same thing. Start with that forward push and back, and keep it nice and gentle. Small movements here to start off with, just looking for a little bit of a stretch. And then when you're feeling ready for it, when you go backwards, you're going to push your hips all the way back towards that left heel. And then draw the hips forward, all the way back towards that left heel. So again, we're looking to get some stretches going on here that we don't usually feel, right? So you're going to feel that stretch all the way up the right hamstring, but also on the left quad. You're going to feel those muscles working and stretching at the same time. Let's go 3, 2, 1 last rep here, and then we're going to come back into that half kneeling position. And from here, hands on either side of your foot, and go ahead and straighten that back leg. So you're in a very long, deep lunge right now. Back legs up off the mat, and you're going to start with that rotation. So go ahead and open up to the right side, twisting the torso, back down to the mat, and open to the left. And again, what we're going to do is we're going to sort of play with these stretches and holds that are going to make the muscles play off of each other. And you're going to feel that. You're going to feel that stretch. You're going to feel the warmth from the hold, sort of making the muscles work there. But also draw your attention to how your range of motion increases as we move throughout these exercises. Let's open to one more time each side. Both hands on the mat, and you're just going to step it right out into a high plank here. So we're going to have a couple of holds, couple of core holds throughout this workout, and this is going to be number 1. So we're just straight arm or high plank right now. What you should feel is a little bit of a burn in the quads. I want you to tuck that tailbone. So we've already sort of activated the glutes, activated the hip flexors, and keep the back nice and straight here. Use this time to really, really connect your mind to the core muscles. You're tightening all those muscles, pulling them in towards each other, in towards the spine. This is a long hold. So we're going to move slowly through each of these exercises. So no need to rush. Sort of get into the movement as you get into the movement. Don't skip parts of reps. Go ahead and gently lower your hips to the mat into Cobra. And then you're going to tuck your toes under. You're going to lift your hips all the way up into Down Dog. And then back into Cobra. Dial your focus in here to the core, doing most of this lift, right? So as you draw your hips up off the mat from that Cobra position, I want you to sort of tighten the abs first. Tuck the toes, tighten the abs, and pretend it's only the abs that can draw your spine up towards the ceiling. Taking it nice and slow, big deep breaths when you can. Long exhales, exhaling tension. All right, up into down dog. And when you get to this down dog, you're going to want to walk your hands towards your toes. Roll the shoulders up to the ceiling. Once you're in that standing position, left foot comes forward into that hamstring stretch. So toes up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Push the butt back behind you and reach for the toes. So the left toes are up towards the ceiling. The right foot is facing forward. And you're going to start with that rocking forward, right? So bring your left toes down to the mat and your right knee follows. So again, we're looking for that sort of stretch and burn combination. So the left leg's getting a big stretch on. The right quad is doing a whole bunch of work. Take it nice and slow. We're moving slowly here, not using any weight. So as your muscles warm up, you can sort of feel free to push against some of the tension, that pushback that your muscles are holding on to as you move into these stretches. Let's go one more, and then you're going to bring that knee all the way down to the mat. So get back into that half kneeling position, this time left leg in front. We're going to do the same thing. I want you to tuck the tailbone and start with that shift forward and back, just nice and gentle. Nothing crazy here. And then when you're starting to feel comfortable, I want you to sit all the way back. Boom. On that right heel. And then as you come forward, push forward into that stretch and sit back on the heel. When you move forward, I want you to tuck that tailbone. So you don't want to lead with the top of the tailbone, or excuse me, of the hips. You want to sort of lead that stretch with the tailbone. Boom. And sit it back. Taking it nice and slow here. You should feel that burn in the quad. Part of that is our workout yesterday. Although we did arms yesterday, so I don't know why that would be there. 5 seconds. Let's do one more sit back. And then next time you come forward, hands to the mat. Straighten that back leg up. All right, settle in here. We're going to start with those rotations. You're going to open up to the left, rotate the torso, reach for the ceiling, and then back down towards the mat. Right to left here, alternating nice and slowly. And back. Taking those nice deep breaths in. Adjust as you need to. Muscles might be shaking a little bit now from some of these holds. We're going to push it during this workout to get to that point where we really are sort of at the very edge of what we can do, and then we'll move into something like a child's pose or switch gears. 3, 2, 1 more open. All right, both hands back down to the mat. Step it out with the left leg, and we're back into a high plank. This is our second hold of the workout. So we're going to start by just locking in form here. And then what we're going to do is add in a really slow and sort of exaggerated mountain climber. So I want you to draw the right knee in towards the chest and up. So it rounds your back up to the ceiling, and then step it back out. Left knee comes in, draw up into the body, so it sort of rounds that back out, and then step it back out. Alternating sides. Get that core, this is sort of that active plank that we do in our workouts. Step it out, looking for that burn. Let's do one more each side. And then drop those knees gently to the mat. Sit it back in child's pose. From here, I want you to take your right hand, place it behind your head, and you're going to rotate to the right, open up to the ceiling, elbow faces the ceiling, back to the center, over to the left side, rotate, back to the center, and then sort of clear the air here by pulling yourself forward into cobra. Stretch things back out. We spent a lot of time in that contracted form. Back into child's pose. Right hand on the back of your head, and same rotation, open to the right. left side. Back to the center. Clear that out with the cobra. And then come, lift the hips back over the knees, not all the way to child's pose, but just in the tabletop. So, we're going to start with the right side here. What you're going to do is you're going to pick up your hand, you're going to scoop it underneath your body, underneath the left armpit, back up to the top, and you're going to go into a right arm, left leg bird dog. So again, right arm scoops under the body, under the left armpit, drops to the mat when you come back up to the top, stretch right arm forward, left leg back into that bird dog. Again, taking your time here, breathing all the way through each of these exercises. Don't rush it. Be very purposeful, in fact, of where you're feeling any sort of work, any sort of stretch, what feels right, what might feel a little bit off. Let's go one more time with the right hand scooping under and into bird dog. And then switch it over to the left side. So the left hand is going to scoop under the right armpit. Back up, reach it forward, left side bird dog. Back to the mat and scoop. And you're bringing that shoulder all the way down to the mat. Again, nice and gentle here. So what you might be feeling is that right arm sort of feels like it's doing a little bit of a push-up. Again, that's what we're going for, right? We're sort of playing with the idea that one side is stretching and the other side is in that isometric hold to really create that bird. Stretch and bring it in. Part of this workout is maintaining your stability, maintaining your center of gravity. All those little muscles have to work to keep your shoulders facing forward. One more. Up and stretch. And hit the mat. All right. I want you to go down, down onto the elbows. So we're still on our knees now. Elbows, forearms on the mat. Stretch that right leg out back behind you. Toes on the ground. And you're going to start with a straight leg kick up right towards the ceiling. Don't forget about your abs. Pull your core in. Keep it nice and tight. Your back stays nice and straight. And you're just kicking up towards the ceiling. And right back down towards the mat. Let's turn this into a 3-point kick. So you're going to go up over your left heel, touch down on the other side, outside of that foot, and back to the center. So we're just adding a little bit of an arc, a little bit of a rainbow kick there. Up and drop to the mat. So again, we're looking for a hold on the left side. We're looking for some movement on the right. Glutes are a big part of your core system. Get ready to switch over to that left side in 2 and 1. Right knee comes in towards the body. Straighten the left leg out. And we're just going for those straight kickbacks. Up and down right now. No arc. These workouts where it doesn't quite raise the heart rate like a HIIT workout really lets you focus on the muscles, focus on your control. You sort of feel those muscles working, connect with them a little bit faster, a little bit harder. All right, let's go into that 3-point. So get up over the right heel and back to the center. Keeping the back nice and straight, the hips and shoulders face the mat the whole time. Up and over. Nice. Stick with it. We're going to do a couple more arcs, and then we're going to head back over to the right leg in 3, 2, and 1. Left leg comes in. Go ahead and straighten that right leg out again. We're going to start with some sweeps. So I want you to point the toe. So the top of your foot's on the mat, and you're just going to sweep out to the right and sweep it back behind you. So the toe is pointed, no flex here. Again, your goal is to keep your hips facing the mat, right? So what happens is you start to feel that side of your butt really, really start to work hard. Let's do one more arc sweep out to the side and then back. And then you're just going to lift straight up back behind you and little pulses. So that right foot still pointed, no flex. is little pulses right out back behind you. Breathing through it. You're in control, pushing the body just a little bit more. 3, 2, and 1. Draw the right leg in and give that side a rest. Left leg out back behind you, toes are pointed, and start with that sweep. So this time we're going out to the left. And try to get your toe all the way up. See if you can get that leg straight out to the side. You're gonna have to, this is a big hip mobility worker, but there's no stress on those muscles. So this is a great exercise to increase your range of motion, open up tight hip flexors without any pressure. All right, straight back behind you, lift and pulse. Woohoo! Pulse it out. Don't worry, we'll stretch those glutes out, I promise. We've got 10 seconds of pulses, and then we're back down onto the ground with that knee. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Left knee comes in. Go ahead and sit it back in child's pose. Stretch all the way back. Stretch those glutes out. And then you're going to pull forward into cobra. Back into child's pose. And then forward into cobra. Pull it back. So we're coming up on a few holds here. We're going to turn our focus to core strength. Sit it back. One more cobra. Sit it back in child's pose. Let yourself rest it out for a second here. All right, go ahead and pull yourself forward onto your elbows. Step it out into a plank. And this is our first hold, our first forearm hold plank. So we're turning our attention to strength now, not so much mobility, although we'll get back there. But I want you to tuck the tailbone under. Focus on your breathing. Focus on your form here. Don't forget that the neck is an extension of the spine. Hold it steady. Keeping the left forearm on the mat, I want you to rotate the body, open to the right, and into that side plank. I'm just going to shift up a little bit so I'm not hanging off the mat. And reach that right arm up towards the ceiling. That right arm that's reaching towards the ceiling right now, I want you to keep it straight, bring it down, touch the mat in front of you, and then right back up. Touch the mat in front of you, and right back up. Nothing else changes, it's just that shoulder movement. Down. And up. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rotate back to the center into that elbow hold. Tuck the hips under. Shoulders are right over your elbows right now. All right, go ahead and keep that right elbow on the mat. You're going to rotate to the side. So now we're in that right side plank. Reach that arm right up towards the ceiling. Set your form first. And then keeping that left arm straight, you're going to tap down to the mat and right back up. Tap and down. Just the shoulder is moving right now. The rest of your torso is locked in place. Super strong hold here. We're pushing these holds a little bit longer each time. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and gently drop the hip to the mat. Give a little bit of a stress relief to those shoulders. I want you to turn so you're sitting, legs straight out in front. Hands just behind your butt. We're going to go into a reverse plank. So fingertips facing forward. Squeeze the abs and lift the hips right up towards the ceiling. Strong abs. Straight back. Close your eyes if you need to here and just hold on to that reverse plank. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hips down to the mat. All right. From here, I want you to open the legs into a bit of a straddle here, not super wide, just what you're comfortable with. Fingertips behind the head. We're going to go into a 3-point lean here. So into that sort of prisoner stance, open the elbows out to the side, and you're going to lean that right elbow down towards the right leg. Back up to the center. Keep this slow. To the center. Move as far forward as you can, and then use the abs in the lower back to lift yourself back up to a tall seated position. And then the left elbow to the left side. And then you're going to go back through the center. So you're going to feel some stretches, but you're also still, again, going to feel that work. Feel the core working, the lower back. Keep those elbows out nice and wide. Super purposeful here, opening up those hips, moving the body in some directions that it doesn't normally necessarily move in. But if you ever do sort of find yourself in an awkward position with weight in hand, you'll be able to more easily find a way out of it. Boom, and up to the top. To the side. All right, one more to the center. Back up to the top. What you're going to do, let those arms down, give them a little bit of a break. Draw your feet in towards each other, so you're going to be in a long diamond shape with the legs. Lay it back all the way to the mat. We're going to do butterfly sit-ups. So maintain that diamond with the legs, and you're going to roll your body up and all the way through, so you're leaning forward into that butterfly stretch, all the way back down. Take this super, super slow. This is a really hard sit-up, right? All of your weight is distributed as far from the center as it can be. So getting up past that sticky point takes some effort. But you're going to think about rolling the shoulders forward, lifting the abs up off the mat. Touch the toes, right back down. One more. Touch the toes into that butterfly stretch, and then back down to the mat. Go ahead and straighten those legs out back behind you. Arms to your side. We're going to do some single leg raises. So pull the abs in towards the mat. Single leg raises, just the right side right now. Shoulders stay on the mat for now. That right leg is just up towards the ceiling. See if you can get into that L position and feel the lower back really sort of press into the mat. And then the heel approaches the mat nice and slowly, doesn't actually touch down. If you can, go ahead and lift those shoulders. Squeeze the abs to lift the shoulders just up off the mat. Get a little bit more of a challenge in the second half of this right side raise. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shoulders back down towards the mat, right heel to the mat, and switch over to that left side. Everything stays nice and balanced. Heel approaches the floor but doesn't quite tap down. Always in movement mode. Lower back gently into the mat. Go ahead and squeeze the abs. Lift those shoulders up off the mat. You can feel that lower back sort of move towards the mat on its own to maintain strength throughout this movement. We're going for 5, 4, keep it up. 3, 2, and 1. Both feet to the mat. All right, this time the right leg's going to come up and you're just going to stretch it out. So place your fingertips behind the right hamstring and draw that leg in towards your body. Nice and gently. Go ahead and release that right leg back down to the mat, and the left leg comes up, and just a little bit of a stretch here. Pull the leg in towards the body. Gentle fingertips against the hamstring right now. We often do this stretch after our HIIT and strength workouts, but you should feel this time through so you can get a little bit deeper into that stretch. The muscles are warm and loose, a little bit more pliable. All right, left leg to the mat. Right knee up towards the chest, so bend it in. Fingertips are on the shin now, and you're bringing that knee as close to the chest as you can here. Hug it in. Slow breathing. Muscles are warm but not exhausted. Go ahead and straighten that right leg out and draw the left knee in towards your body. Straighten that left leg out and go ahead and roll up into a seated position. Legs are straight out in front of you. Reach towards the ceiling and then reach for your toes. Think about stretching the spine. So you're not folding in half so much as you are reaching as far forward, elongating the body. When you exhale in this position, I want you to see if you can get deeper and deeper into that stretch. Just sink into it. One more deep breath in, long, slow exhale. And then when you're ready, you're going to slowly roll the shoulders up towards the ceiling. Tilt the head back, not too far, just tilt the chin up just a little bit. And then you're going to let the right ear drop towards the right shoulder. Gentle neck rolls. Go ahead and reverse direction. Chin to the front and let the weight of your head just pull the chin forward just a little bit. Exhale, lift the chin. And shake everything out. Woohoo! Mobility is so key, is such an important part to any of the big lifts that we do, any of that HIIT that we do. Your body can move through a fuller range of motion. You're going to get so much more out of every single one of those lifts, every single one of those workouts. And exhale, we're done. Yee-hoo.